Let's see what it is that is necessary for us to take today. This is not an association of scholars. We're not here to become scholars. We're not here to learn from books. We're here to learn from our heart. That is the difference. Too many scholars in these days anyway. Everyone's claiming to be a scholar. Alhamdulillah, we're not claiming to be a scholar. So many scholars, more confusion they're making. What it means to be a scholar? Knowing how to read and write is a scholar? Knowing how to read and write Arabic is a scholar? That's what it is, isn't it? Now you learn how to read and write Arabic, you can go to university, you get a diploma, wherever, Saudi Arabia or America or China. Then you become a scholar, and that time people giving fatwa to each other, non-stop, just telling people what to do. This is halal, this is haram. But we're looking, if there's so many scholars, why this world is not getting better? Why the ummah is getting worse? So different kinds of scholars. Alim. The alim. The knowledgeable one. The Prophet ﷺ is saying, the alims of my nation, they are the inheritors of the prophets. Of course, he doesn't mean alim from Wahhabi Medina University. He doesn't mean alims from, these days you can get diploma from Western universities about Islamic knowledge, isn't it? Taught by unbelievers. He's not talking about alims that are constantly going up there, that we just finished the khutbah, asking for money, for fundraising. We're not talking about the alims. That is only going to be a puppet for the ideologies of their regimes. It cannot be, can it? It cannot be those alims that are only gathering people to make them to fall more into a ghaflat. Not for them to wake up to understand their own state, or the state of their country, or the state of the ummah, or the state of this world. Definitely Prophet is not meaning those kind of alims. So must be another kind of alims. Seek knowledge, even if you have to go to China. What kind of knowledge? What kind of knowledge that you have to go to China to get? You think Prophet ﷺ, when he talks about the knowledge, the ilm, he's meaning knowledge of this dunya, this low dunya that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, I don't give value to this world like I give value to a wing of a mosquito. Mosquito has 4 wings. Allah is saying He doesn't place the value of this world with all the treasures, with all the technology, with everything that is in this world, not even to 1 wing of a mosquito. There is a big secret in that, what the wing of a mosquito represents. But we are not ready to go to take that real kind of knowledge, because we're still being busy with this dunya. We're still being busy and obsessed, putting this dunya and the attachment of this dunya into our hearts and into our life. We make remembrance of this dunya more. Check. I'm checking myself. You must check yourself too. When you wake up in the morning, do you make remembrance of Allah? Or you make remembrance of this dunya? Be real. Real knowledge. First you have to be real to get the real knowledge. If you're not real, spirituality will not open to you. It's not given to you. Because you don't know what to do with it, you start pretending. Not just alims, pretending alims, fake alims. There are so many fake sheikhs too. Of course, it happens. We're living in the time of fakeness. We're living in the second Jahiliyyah, where the people, they are jahil. They are ignorant. With so much education and money and technology, they are ignorant. Because what? They don't wake up to themselves. Because they don't have people waking them up. Entering into tariqat. to see unusual things, consulting with a sheikh only for, oh, my wife is like this, my husband is like this, my children is like this, I love this one doesn't love me, I hate this one, put something on him, do better, please, my business is like this. Dunya, isn't it? And what do these fake sheikhs they do? Because they're seeing so many foolish people, they say, oh, you want? Give me money, I'll write a tawiz for you. Does that happen? Of course it happens. It happens everywhere. Are we saying there's no real alims? Of course there are. Are we saying there's no real sheikhs? Of course there are. But we must look out. This is part of waking up to understand how this world and the shaitan is tricking us. In this world, if you're a businessman, when you deal with someone, you're not just going to trust him 100%. You're a very bad businessman, isn't it? You're going to see how this person might trick me, might get me into trouble, might do this, might do that. Meaning all your sensors, they are out. You're looking. You are not sleeping. You are awake. Because you're dealing with dunya, you're dealing with business. You don't want anyone to trick you. Because your purpose is to make money. It's good. You should do that. Are we putting down business? No, we're not. Trading is the occupation of the Holy Prophet ﷺ too. But this kind of principle of being awake, man today, 21st century man, they don't put it into their lives. To see how today my ego tricked me, how dunya tricked me, how shaitan tricked me. At the end of the day, as a businessman, you're going to count. Chef, and he's saying this. I'm not saying this for years. You're going to count how much I win, how much I lose. How many Muslims, how many mu'mins, at the end of the day they sit down. How much did I gain today? For the sake of Allah. How much did I lose? Are we doing that? We should. But when it comes to remembrance, we're waking up with the remembrance of dunya. It doesn't matter what you are. You're a student. You're a teacher. You're a worker. You're a boss. If we are not waking up, first renewing our shahadat, saying Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu, we have lost for that day. That is the purpose of our creation. Later, you want to run to the world? You run to the world. The reason for us to wake up is to pray, isn't it? Alhamdulillah, we are the only religion that wakes up. First thing we have to do it is to pray. It's not to eat. So many unbelievers wake up. First thing, what am I going to have for breakfast? To eat. For the Muslims, in this month of Ramadan, don't wake up to eat too. Wake up with the intention that you're making sahur to fast. It's different. Wake up with the intention, even if you don't want to eat, I'm waking up even to drink one glass of water, because it is sunnat. And every sunnat, it is going to bring health, it is going to bring wealth, it is going to bring success and benefits and blessings here and hereafter. So wake up with the remembrance of Allah. Oh, let's not even go what happens during the whole day. Are we remembering Allah or not? Remembering Allah is not enough for those who want to say, well, I pray 5 times a day. Praying. These days, Muslims are praying like thieves too. Quickly, assalamu alaikum, and they rush. Of course you have to pray. But the idea, the purpose of prayer is to remember Allah. And if we can bring the remembrance of Allah into our daily lives, when we are buying, when we are selling, when we are working, when we are cooking, when we are not eating. We cannot eat, this is Ramadan. We take the remembrance of Allah into our daily lives, then that time the prayers will mean something. Giving salams is going to mean something. It's not just a routine robotic action that even in the prayer your mind is somewhere else, your heart is somewhere else. Allahu Akbar, you're reciting Fatiha, you're saying, okay, later I have to go here, I have to collect money from this one has money or not, I don't know, so many years I'm asking for. You start having dialogue with yourself instead of having dialogue with Allah. You're having dialogue with yourself. Say this doesn't happen to us. Man who says, no, this doesn't happen to me, that one is not being sincere. He's not being honest. So it comes to the heart again. We're not here to read books. We're here to read the heart. You can carry the whole books on your back. It doesn't make you a scholar. You can swallow all 104 books. It cannot make you a scholar. Like they say, a donkey that carries books on his back does not become a scholar. He's still a donkey. So many people have donkey characteristics. We need to look at ourselves. Do I have that donkey characteristic? Do I learn so much, but I never put in practice? I'm reciting, I'm memorizing, but I put it into practice. No. Like they say in Turkish too, a donkey that circles 7 times around the Kaaba does not become a Haji. He's still a donkey. So the point is what? Get rid of these donkey characteristics in us. For that, you cannot find in books. To get rid of donkey characteristics, to get rid of pig characteristics, to get rid of dragon characteristics, to get rid of all these animal characteristics, you cannot read it in books. You have to find a guide. You have to find a shaykh. You have to find a murshid. That one will open up this book. This book. The book of your heart. That one is going to open up the book of your heart and he will make you to read what is in there. That is the time you say, oh, I'm saying La ilaha illallah, but I have this ilah. I have this ilah. I have this ilah. I'm not really saying, let me try to get rid of it. That's the time you're making remembrance. That's the time you're reading that book. That's the time you become a knowledgeable one. That's the time when you become an alim. And the alims, Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, the alims of my nation, they are like the prophets of the Bani Israel. The prophets of the Bani Israel, they speak to Allah. Isn't it? Musa Kalimullah. The prophets of the Bani Israel, they are Ruhullah. Isa alayhi salam, Ruhullah. Isn't it? The prophets of the Bani Israel, 70,000 of them, they're able to open miracles that even up till today, where they're still trying to understand how that happens. Of course, everything happens with the will of Allah, with His izn. But why Allah is giving them izn and not giving us if we are believers? Something to think about. So the alims of my nation, they are like the prophets of the Bani Israel, is the Hadith Sharif. Those ones who are reading their hearts. Those ones who have taken the allegiance, they have taken the obedience from that one who is an inheritor of the Prophet. Those ones who have submitted their will to the will of Allah through a training in a tariqat. Those ones become friends of Allah. Those ones become awliya Allah. And awliya Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, say and I will give to you. I will dress you with a robe of Rabbaniyat. Say, ask, and I will give it to you. Are we so impressed also by the karamat of the awliya Allah? No. You're supposed to have karamat. If you're a wali, you're supposed to have karamat. We are not so impressed with the karamats. Especially in these days. Because we have to see what is a karamat. What is a maghrifat? What is it? Karamat, it is to walk on air. We have so many magicians now doing that, isn't it? Look on TV. Karamat now is to make unusual things to happen. Karamat now is to fly, to walk on the water, to do all these things that we are hearing and we are seeing, thinking that this is all that the karamat is. Watch Superman. Then he must be Ahli Karamat. This is when intelligence must kick in. What is a karamat? What is a miracle in these days? Then we must look in these days. What is the darkness surrounding this ummah these days? What are the diseases inflicting on this ummah in their hearts these days? What is the Holy Prophet ﷺ that he has been warning for his nation to be careful of in the Akhir Zaman, especially in these days? Once you figure out all the negatives, those ones who are reminding you of these negatives and waking people up, those who wake up, that is karamat. Don't forget, Dajjal is going to come to show so many unusual things. And so many Muslims, they're going to run after him. Because so many Muslims now, they're getting prepared too. They're seeing all these unusual, supernatural things and they like it. On TV, on everything, they like it. They want to have superpowers. Dajjal is going to open that. Allah is going to give him the power. He says, die a person may die. Isn't it? Mahdi alayhi salam, he is going to bring the Shariat. Mahdi alayhi salam, he is going to bring the knowledge of yourself. Mahdi alayhi salam, he is going to bring out the forgotten sunnats of the Holy Prophet alayhi salam. And Mahdi alayhi salam is going to wake people up to the tricks and the traps of Dajjal. Mahdi alayhi salam is going to fight the Dajjal. That is karamat. If you're doing all of that now, you're already Ahli Karamat. Don't wait for anyone to tell you you can read hearts, you can do this, you can do that. We're not impressed with that. Like what we're saying in the Naqshbandi Tariqat, the Karamats, it is like dirty blood of the women's. Especially in these days, Karamat is just to wake up the nation, to understand the danger that we are in, and for them to come back to the Siratul Mustaqim. Why? Because majority of the scholars don't do that. Inshallah Rahman, we are not claiming anything. Definitely, I'm not a sheikh. We are not claiming to be saints. We are hoping to be nominees of murids. Murid to our sheikh. And our only goal is to please Allah. Our only goal is to become Abdullah. That is the only title that we hope that we get. Any other title, in these days, titles are cheap. If you want it, take it. Anybody can call themselves anything. But we are not interested in what we call ourselves or what others call us. We are interested in what Allah calls us, what His Prophet calls us. We are interested in what His awliya call us. So inshallah Rahman, in this month of Ramadan, we should wake up to this. Live for this dunya. It's going to bring us to disaster. But if we live for akhirat, we will get this dunya and we will get the akhirat. That time there will be a balance. That time Allah will not question us. Otherwise, for men especially, everything is going to be questioned to us on the day of judgment. Women's, they're only going to be questioned. Allah will only question the man's husband or the father or the brother, saying, are you pleased with her? The husband says, yes, I'm pleased with her. Allah will command the angels, take her, she can enter into paradise, into any door that she wants. But for the man, you sit. Every single thing you are going to be questioned. May Allah not question us on that day. So we should start questioning ourselves today, while we still have the breath of life in us. The khutbah is saying, remembering death. Once we start remembering death, the life has taste. The akhirat has taste. We are going to believe in Jannat and Jahannam. If we don't remember death, we don't want to die. And we want to make this world into a living paradise. And that is going to be a disaster for us. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless all of you for the sake of the Holy Prophet, for the sake of Shaykh Mawlana and Sahib al-Saif. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.